I, 27F, up until a year ago, thought I had a normal family. Mom, dad, 2 younger siblings, decent upbringing. Nothing too fancy, nothing tragic. But there was always this subtle tension. Like I was a guest in my own home. But last year, my mom slipped up. She said something weird during a fight, "You're just like him." I asked, "Like who?" She froze. Said it was nothing. But her face, she went pale. Like she'd just realized she'd given away a decades-long secret. That night, something in me cracked. I'd always felt different, disconnected. My dad was cold, strict, and never affectionate. Like he was just tolerating me. I remember birthdays where my siblings got big gifts and cake, while mine felt like an obligation. I asked him once why he was harder on me than my siblings. He said, "Because I expect more from the oldest." But it always felt like something deeper. Sometimes he wouldn't even look me in the eye. So I ordered a DNA test. Just curiosity. Just to prove myself wrong. But the results came back, and he wasn't my biological father. I stared at the screen for hours. I even took another test just to be sure. Same result. I confronted my mom. She broke down crying. Told me everything. Said it was a one-time thing with an old friend, and that no one knew except her and her sister. She begged me not to tell anyone. Said it would ruin everything. I asked who my real father was. She refused to say. Said it didn't matter, that he's not part of your life. I was furious. For 27 years, she'd let me live a lie. And now she wanted to control the truth, too? I went to her sister, my aunt, and begged for the truth. She gave me a name, reluctantly. Said the guy moved out of state a long time ago. She said, "He's not a bad guy, but your mom didn't want him around." I searched online and found him within hours. He had a Facebook page, married, no kids, looked exactly like me. Same eyes, smile, even my posture. He had photos from his hiking trips. I hike. He had a guitar in one photo. I play, too. It was eerie. I sent him a message. I kept it short. "Hi, I believe you might be my biological father. I just found out and would like to talk." I waited 3 days before he replied. He replied the next day after reading it. Polite, cautious. Said he'd always suspected but was told I wasn't his. We agreed to talk on the phone. I was shaking the whole time. That call lasted 4 hours. He told me he wanted to be involved, but my mom cut contact and married the other guy quickly. Said he even wrote letters that were returned. I cried. He cried. We talked about everything, childhoods missed, questions I always had, how he never stopped wondering. He offered to do a paternity test to confirm. We did. 99.9% match. He was my dad. And my whole life had been built on a lie. I couldn't stop thinking about all the moments we could have had. The father-daughter dances. School plays. Late-night advice sessions. Gone. Meanwhile, my legal dad found out. Through my mom. He lost it. He screamed at her, then turned all that rage on me. He said I was ungrateful, accused me of betrayal. Said, "I gave you everything and this is how you repay me?" I reminded him he was never warm to me. Never treated me like a real daughter. He didn't deny it. Just said, "I always knew you weren't mine." That crushed me more than I expected. So he knew. The whole time. My siblings took sides. My younger brother blamed me for ruining the family. Called me dramatic. My sister secretly messaged me saying she always felt something was off too. Said she saw how I was treated and knew it wasn't fair. Things escalated fast. Family dinners got awkward. Silent. Tense. Mom tried to move on like nothing happened. I told her, "You don't get to lie for 27 years and act like it's nothing." She didn't respond. Eventually, I cut contact with all of them for a while. I needed space. I needed to breathe. And I needed to get to know my real dad. The one who wanted to know me. We met in person. The moment we hugged, I broke. I hadn't cried like that in years. It felt right. Natural. He smelled like cedar and cologne, weird what the brain remembers. Over the next few months, we rebuilt what we could. He introduced me to his wife, who was kind and welcoming. They had no kids and said they always felt like something was missing. Now they said, maybe that was you. They invited me to visit often. Holidays, dinners, casual weekends. I saw photos of him as a young man and noticed our mannerisms were identical. It was wild. And for once, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Meanwhile, back home, chaos. My mom started telling extended family that I was turning against her and choosing a stranger over family. She painted me as selfish, ungrateful. Except I wasn't. I was just choosing truth. And it turns out, several cousins already knew. Apparently my mom's lie was more public than she thought. Some even joked about it at reunions. One cousin said, "We always thought you were the milkman's kid." One of my cousins showed me old family texts where people suspected I wasn't really his. Even joked about it. That broke me again. They all knew. And no one said a word. Then something unexpected happened. My real dad offered to put me in his will. I never asked. He insisted. Said I was his daughter, and he wanted to make it official. He said, "You deserve something that proves your family." I told my mom. She went ballistic. Accused me of being a gold digger. Said I was replacing her family. She said I was brainwashed. I told her I was finally thinking clearly. And then, I kid you not, she tried to get me removed from her will out of spite. Called a lawyer, made it a whole production. Threatened to leave everything to my siblings. Except, her lawyer contacted me. He was my friend's dad. He told me what she was doing and asked if I wanted to respond legally. He said, "You're not obligated to do anything, but you should know what's happening." That's when I found out my legal dad never actually adopted me. Legally, I was never his daughter. Which meant, if I wanted, I could have my birth father legally recognized. Which could also make my mom's whole legal maneuver pointless. So I did it. I filed the paperwork. My biological dad and I went through the process. I changed my name officially. It felt like shedding an identity that never belonged to me. The moment it was finalized, I felt like I reclaimed my life. My truth. My name. I cried holding that new ID. Then my mother lost it. Started sending letters. Voicemails. Emails. All angry, all manipulative. Guilt trips. "You've killed me, you're erasing me, you don't care." I kept them all. Every message. Every voicemail. Just in case. It was emotional ammo if I ever needed it. Then one day, she showed up at my work. Screaming in the lobby. I had to call security. That was the final straw. My boss was supportive but shocked. I was mortified. I filed for a restraining order. It was granted temporarily. She tried to fight it in court, but with all the messages and the work incident, the judge made it permanent. She left the courtroom crying. I felt nothing. It felt like grieving a living person. But I had to do it. I had to protect myself. My real dad stood by me through it all. So did his wife. We started building a new life together. One filled with laughter, open communication, and mutual respect. I started therapy. Not just for the trauma, but to process the identity shift. It wasn't easy. I had to unlearn 27 years of lies. Rewrite the foundation of who I thought I was. At one point, I questioned everything. My childhood, my beliefs, even my personality. Who was I without that history? Who was I if everything I believed about myself came from a lie? But slowly, I started healing. I found a deeper sense of self than I ever had. I learned that family isn't DNA, it's honesty, love, and choice. Eventually, my younger sister reached out again. Said she didn't care about the drama. She just missed me. Said she wished she'd spoken up earlier. We talked. A lot. She admitted she suspected things too but was afraid to say anything. We're reconnecting, slowly. Carefully. We go for coffee now. Text more often. My younger brother hasn't spoken to me since. I've accepted it. People show you who they are in times like these. And his silence is loud. My mom's side of the family is split. Some support me. Some say I overreacted. I've stopped trying to explain myself to anyone. The ones who matter understand. Because the truth is, I didn't destroy a family. I uncovered one that was already broken. I just stopped pretending. I'm now engaged. My dad's going to walk me down the aisle. It feels symbolic, the man who missed 27 years gets to be there for my next chapter. He's already practicing his speech. He cried when I asked him. Said it was the greatest honor of his life. His wife will be there too. She calls herself my bonus mom. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I never took that DNA test. Would I still be living in that lie? Would I still be just surviving? Would I ever feel whole? But I'm glad I did. It hurt, but it freed me. I don't hate my mom. I'm just done trying to protect her image at the cost of my sanity. She made her choices. Now I make mine. Some people say family is everything. I say truth is everything. Without it, family means nothing. If you're out there and you're scared to ask questions, I get it. It's terrifying. But you deserve the truth. It doesn't have to define you. But it can free you. This year, for the first time in my life, I celebrated my birthday with someone who actually wanted me. No guilt. No tension. Just love. He baked me a cake himself. I know now who I am. Not because of DNA, not because of anyone else, but because I chose to find out, no matter the cost. My story isn't over. My family may be fractured, but I'm finally whole. And if I had to do it all over again? I would. Every painful step. Every truth bomb. Because it gave me, me. So what you think? Share, like and subscribe for more.